dialogue systems, which is something really simple in reality. People probably think that dialogue systems are something fairly complex, and they are not really. They are pretty simple in reality. You can pull them off in really simple manners, and they are pretty cool to do. And today we're going to be doing one simple dialogue system. Today I'm gonna show you what I was developing, okay? Because I did this right before. This is where we left off last time with the rope system, which is again really cool, really amazing. Check it out in the video we have in the channel. And for some reason, while I was coding, Visual Studio was not visible, but we have already made a system like this. But to show you that this is truly for real, a live coding challenge, we're going to just get rid of all this. Okay, and let's just start from scratch. Okay, now some game objects won't have the scripts and things, but don't worry, we're going to do everything again. Okay, again. If the computer doesn't die on me, we're doing it, baby. So, well, just waiting, loading. We just removed a few things, and now this script is missing. This script is missing, and some things are actually missing. So we're going to remove this as well, and let's go back again to the beginning. All right, so what is a dialogue system? Look at me, straight to the face. What is in reality a dialogue system? What do dialogue systems really do? For a given reason, do something really simple, and it's basically step through strings. By the way, we have created two capsules here, right? One of them has a trigger, but we're going to go over that in the future. It has a sphere collider trigger, and this is supposed to be our player. We can paint it in a different player mat. It's going to be green. The player is green, baby. So yeah, we have the player, which is the green object, and the NPC, which is the NPC object. So if you want to create dialogue, the dialogue is usually held within the NPC. So let's go into the scripts folder. We are in Systems, Dialogue Manager. Okay, so we are in Dialogue System. In Systems, our live coding challenges are still ongoing. So we go here, and we create a new mana behavior script. We're going to call this Dialogue Manager. Okay, let's create a dialogue manager, and this is basically what's going to hold the array of strings, our wonderful array of strings. Come on, boom boom. Let's go into the, oh my god, the computer is going slowly today. Let's go to the NPC. Let's drop the dialogue manager into the NPC, because basically what we're going to do, it's every time that the player kind of wants to interact with the NPC, we need to display dialogue. How does dialogue work, you're asking yourself? Maybe we're noobs in this thing. We are noobs, actually. But let's go ahead and do some proper or simple dialogues, so you guys can understand and get around the concept of how the dialogue system really works, that you can expand on it later with booleans. That, let's just start basic, right? So we're going to start with a string array. String array of, this is going to be dialogue, right? This is going to hold our given dialogue. What else do we need? We need an integer which is going to be the dialogue step. With this dialogue step, what do we really want to do, right? Okay, let's go here. Let's make them both public, so we can really enjoy to see those variables in the inspector. We can then make them private if you want, but by now we're just going to try to undo this, right? We don't want start nor update. We need nothing out of that, because we're going to be working our own stuff. So we're going to create a public void step dialogue, right? So yeah, we're going to be stepping the dialogue, come on. So we go step dialogue, and once we pretty much, this is going to help us, you know, get the dialogue forward, right? So in order to get the dialogue forward, we go dialogue step plus plus, right? Ooh, what happened here? Plus plus and yeah, oh, okay, that works. All right. So what do we really need to kind of do? We need to have a display, right? Because this is great, right? We can have some dialogue right now. And dialogue step basically is what allows us to identify at which step of the dialogue are we. You can then expand on this and make it on scriptable objects and have conversations, and then step conversations and step dialogues within conversations. It's, you know, you can complicate it as much as you want. But the important concept is that now you get some dialogues here that you can basically write down. You can write down at any point whatever you want in the dialogue. The problem right now you may see is that in the element 0 of our dialogue array, we have written something, but every time we are writing down, it's just expanding forward in this line. So in order to read it, it's really complicated to read it all at once, right? So this is not good, this is not fun, this is not easy. What do we want from this to have here? What we actually want to have is something that allows us to have an area. So here we have a modifier which is called text area, and if you modify this text area, okay, and you put it from minimum lines, which is 1, and the maximum number of lines that you want, which, for example, it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 5. You could put 10. You could put the number of lines that you want, and once you have this text area in an array or even in a single string or a single variable string, you will get something really cool, like the fact that now, and by the way, it's entirely, the entire slot is filled with a string because it's a text area. And now if we start writing down in this string, see what happens. Yes, we can do this as many times as we want, right? And as soon as we get to, I don't know, five lines of code, five, we won't get more. We won't get more. We start to having a scroll bar, which is really cool. Like right now you can see we're scrolling down our dialogue, and this is pretty fun. Now you can take a glimpse at your dialogue pretty simply. Now let's create some simple dialogue. Oh, hi. And okay, we have set up a few simple lines of dialogue, really. In this case, this given NPC, which doesn't have a name yet, so we can go ahead in the script, and as well you can modify as many things, add as many variables as you want. But we will make a string name. We will call this namthe, not namthe. It's NPC name, NPC name. It's not fun. It's not fun that it's in the middle. Hopefully you're hearing me correctly now. All right, so we have NPC name, and with that we can basically start to display the stuff, right? Because if we don't have the display, we will not be able to show the dialogue, really. What we need to do, this is basically identifying which step of the dialogue are we. And that's the most important thing, really. Now we need to make the name public, so we can get a public public NPC name. And now let's go make our user interface, our UI, which we will use the canvas, which so gratefully have right here. And we're going to start creating our stuff, which is really simple. Let's go create an image. Let's take a look at our game, because we're going to see how it happens. But it won't usually just update it this way. We're going to put it down. We're going to put it at a height of maybe 300. Maybe that's too much. Maybe you want 250 for your dialogues. Let's give it a little bit of space of 10, maybe even 30. and 30 in position Y, so we have it a little bit more spaced and evenly spaced. We can make this thing, well, this is basically going to be the container, dialog container. So once we have our dialog container, we're going to basically add it an outline to make it look beautiful. This is something that I saw in games like Pokemon when I was playing Pokemon when I was a kid, really. And yeah, Pokemon in the Game Boy. The Game Boy. Boy. So we put here maybe, I don't know, 10? 10? Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable dialogue show. And you could allow people to, you know, choose the color they want from this color wheel. I don't know. You can make a color wheel and make people choose from a color wheel. Pretty cool, right? Well, this is our dialog container, right? But what does the dialog container have? The dialog container has another image, UI image, which is not just the dialog container, but it's going to be kind of 50, maybe 100. Where are you going? Height, it's going to be kind of 80. And we're going to make it a width of, I don't know. What is it, 400? That's pretty reasonable, right, for the name? So I really like this. I really like this kind of a name container. Name container. So now we go here, we add another outline. Why not? Just outlines are wonderful. I think people should start to embrace the outline a little more, right? Just embrace it. It's beautiful. We will set it as a clear blue because this pretty much tells the player it's not dialogue. I don't know. You can put it even yellow or something like that. Yeah. A little bit of contrast. Blue, orange, blue, red. I don't know. Opposite colors. I don't know. This is pretty designful. This is pretty awful in terms of design. Let's go with this one. This is a little better. I like this one a little better. So, what we need to have now, that we have our dialog container and our name container. Now let's display here, for example, our UI, Text Mesh Pro UGUI. So we're going to have this in the dialog container. So right now we're just expanding this. And in order to see it, put it to black. And I usually like to choose a wonderful, by the way, import TMP extras and everything if it tells you to, because that's pretty important. Do it. I usually like to use this letter. It's pretty cool, like for prototyping. It just looks decent, and it's pixely, so I really like it. You can reduce the font size, but what we're going to do is give us a little bit of free space, of safe space, like some 20. Give me some safe space to display the text, and let me show you with a little bit of a bigger volume, bigger size. So let's go right now with what we have here, which is our text. And here's the name container, which we will do just exactly the same. We'll just duplicate this text and let's put it in the name container. And let's basically go expand it right there. And we basically have it properly placed. In order to, again, give it some space, 20, 20, 20, 20. Maybe from top to bottom, we give it 10. And bottom 10. We're not too shabby. I will center it so we can center things. By the way, this letter needs to be 45 probably because it's a name. It's an important thing to display. And needs to be a little bit, I don't know, underlined. I don't know, just, yeah, bolding. It's bold. So right now we have the basics of our dialogue display, right? Here's going to be our dialogue. And here's going to be our name. That's fairly simple. And of course, Canvas is really cool, right? So what we have now, it's a dialog container here, right? Which is within the Canvas. So we will create a dialog UI script, which we need in order to display the dialogue, because if not, how do we display the damn dialogue, really? So We go say dialog UI, and we have it. It didn't complain much. Well, just shut up, Rayzn. Shut up. Now it seems to be recording everything. Like my code is being recorded, right? Yes, yes, it's wonderful. Second time I did the system, by the way. So you should drop a like because I'm wasting my time here. Oh my god! Why am I wasting my time here? I'm not wasting it. But come on, Raymond, center yourself. So we have our dialog UI in order to display the dialog system. We open it and we start to drop things in it. What do we need really? Well, we need a game object. Game object, which will, by the way, let's use this one. Yeah, let's go. Serialize field game object. Oh, I love line. Raymond, just get used to this. Get used to this. Get used to fucking this. Container. And it's container. 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 Oh my god. Let's go, Raymond. You have it. You have it. So we have a container, right? And we will have TextMesh Pro GUI, but for that we need to import or be using TM Pro. So with that, we pretty much have TextMesh Pro GUI. So serialize field text mesh pro GUI. Wow, it's my fucking god, it's amazing. This is dialog text, and here we're going to have the same name text. It's not test, it's text and name text, which is wonderful. Now, in order to display cool stuff, in order to be able to display the cool stuff, right? How do we do that, right? I usually have a public void. You can literally see this is not my keyboard. On enable now, baby. Just give me the enable one, thank you. I know. This is not good pattern, but this is evil. So we enable, we go container.set active. True, because it's enabled, buddy. So it's true. Fuck this thing in the middle, man. Just like... Let's go. Set active false and disable false. Let's go into the dialog manager, right? This is pretty cool, right? But now we need to set the given dialog in the display. How do we do that? Fairly simple. We create a public void set dialog UI. Oh, I'm always like really sketchy about which fucking key I'm going to press. Fucking bad. I need to retrain myself in this fucking keyboard. But okay, so set dialog UI, what will it do? We will receive two strings, right? We will receive a string A, which is going to be the name, right? And another string, which is going to be the dialog that we have set up before. Now, once we have all these things, we basically need to go and say name text dot text is equal to name. This allows us to set the text of the TextMesh Pro, and here we go, dialog text dot text is equal to name. With that, sorry for that. I'm just feeling pretty energetic today. So right now we have the set dialog UI, right? What do we need here in the dialog manager? Come on, you know it. to reference our set dialog UI. I know you were saying it. I know you were saying it. So let's go. So we serialize the field, we go dialog UI, and we say UI. Real simple, right? And here, what we need to pretty much do is say if, for example, dialog step is minor than equal to 0, UI.enable, because, well, it's referencing the dialog UI, so we enable the container that we've referenced in the dialog UI. And for example, if, dialog step is beyond, it would be beyond, above, beyond dialog dot length is above dialog dot length. We say that dialog step is equal to 0. No, it's not equal, double equals. That's for comparisons, baby. Equals to 0, and we return, right? Oh, and UI dot disable. True. So now we basically have the UI for the dialog UI, right? Which is UI.enable. And in case we're beyond what the dialog is, we disable the UI. Damn. What happens? What happens if we are not within these cases, right? That we need to update our given dialog. So we go UI.set dialog UI, and we basically give them our NPC name, and we give them our dialog array dialog step. We basically are grabbing the number of the array of the given dialog step. So once we do that, our dialog step, we will go plus plus, and we will evaluate all of this again, right? I don't know if this needs to be higher or higher and equal. Like, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe dialog the length -1. I'm not entirely sure, but let's test it, okay? Because that's what we do here. We try things and we make them work. So one of the easiest things to try a system, which is a really cool trick for you if you're willing to try things without hitting play and things like that. Let's show you how to make a simple function runner, which is creating a context menu, not context menu item, context menu. You put here the name of your menu, right? You put here step dialog. That's fucking simple. Step dialog. And right now, what we have here, it's ridiculously simple, because now if I go into our NPC that has a dialog manager, which we will give it a name. A great name for an NPC can be, I don't know, Hillsbill, I don't know, Andrea can be a great name because it's genderless, really. It's genderless, so it's a great name. So we have here the UI. We need to reference our dialog UI, which is not existing here in the canvas. So let's put here a dialog UI. And now we need to reference our container. What is our container? What says dialog container? Boom. There it is. The dialog text. The dialog text, what is it? By the way, you can easily do things if you lock them up. So the dialog text is here. Let's name this thing dialog text. Dialog text. And here, name text. Here, name text. Wonderful. We didn't miss an S here. Didn't miss an X. Oh my god. So right now we have our dialog ready to be set up, pretty much. We have our dialog container, which is right here. We will disable it, by the way, because that's the default state of the dialog UI. It's disabled. We need to go to the NPC and have a reference to our Maybe it can be a static reference, it can be a singleton, it can be whatever you want. You can make it grab from canvas, from tag grabbable. I don't know. Just do whatever you want. It's your coding patterns. I'm just showing you how to make a simple dialogue system. So right now, what's the last thing we need? Well, I showed you how to run this thing without having to do it with the player, but then we'll do it with the trigger and with the player. That's what we have in the NPC, the trigger, the sphere trigger. But by now, we're just going to step the dialogue forward by clicking here and go step dialogue. This is what the context menu does. So if we step the dialogue, oh, we fucked up. We gave it 2 times the dialogue. Andrea! Don't tell me Andrea. So our dialogue, name and dialogue. I guess I made a problem. Dialogue text at text. Oh yeah. See? These things of duplicating. If you duplicate, I said it in the first video recorded like a few 1 or 2 hours ago, and I said, oh, just be careful with duplication and duplicating lines. Sometimes you don't change the variable to the variable you need. That's what happened. That's basically what happened. Now, again, this is the default state. Now, let's imagine we want to talk to this NPC, right? We want to talk to him or to her. We say, oh, click, right? Boom. Nothing happens. Oh, because we haven't... Okay. It was not in the default state, okay? By the way, I need to go for water. Give me a second. Oh, I was dying. Okay. It's the second time I'm recording. My voice is already fucked up. So hopefully you just... no, don't do that. Okay, let's go. Let's go ahead. So, what we needed to test after I needed to go for water is, imagine you're going to an NPC and just, oh, suddenly you get prompted, oh, talk to Andrea, right? Okay, you click something and suddenly you invoke the function step dialogue with Andrea. So what should happen is that the UI should be enabled. We should step through the entire dialogue, and at the end of the dialogue, the UI should be plopped off and the dialogue should be reset. So, oh, hi, I didn't notice you. Great, Andrea. Hi, nice to notice you. Nice that you notice me. How are you doing? I'm doing great, Andrea. Nice, thanks for asking. How are you doing as well? Probably great. That's nice as well, because you're an NPC. It's fine today, isn't it? Yeah, it's a great day in Barcelona. Actually, it's a great weather. Amazing degrees now. Just cloudy. Just wonderful time of the summer. So yeah, thank you, Andrea. Yeah, it's a great today. Yes. I guess we could be talking the entire day here. Yes, we could be. We could be, Andrea, perfectly. We absolutely could be. But I usually forget about things and repeat myself. It's true. It's normal. You're an NPC, Andrea. You shouldn't be bothered by repeating yourself. But it's okay, Andrea. It's okay that you feel that way. I understand you. And finally, well, it has been nice talking to you. And probably if I didn't do it right, I am pretty busy. Come back to talk to me later. Goodbye. Goodbye, Andrea. It's been nice to talking to you. It's been nice to have such a nice person talk with me. And at the end, we fucked up because... What I told you, maybe we are beyond the size of the array. Higher or equal than dialogue length. We disable the UI and therefore we return. Probably because we couldn't gather that other array, right? Because we were on step 8 of 8. So yeah, it's element 7. So it's wrong. So in this case, we're pretty much good to go. if we repeat this concept and we disable our container and we reset our wonderful NPC back to 0, right, Andrea? Right, Andrea? So let's go here and say, hey, let's do it fast. Let's see if we reach the end of the dialogue correctly. Okay, second step, you can see third step, fourth step of the dialogue, fifth step of the dialogue, sixth step of the dialogue, seventh step of the dialogue, and eighth step of the dialogue, and now we close. And boom, we've reset it back to 0, and if you want to talk again to Andrea, she will repeat herself, as she said before. And that's how simple a dialogue system really is. Now we're going to go ahead and make a player that can easily interact with this NPC and step forward the dialogue by pressing E, for example. And let's go ahead and do this. Let's complete the dialogue, by the way, because if not, she's not going to be reset back to 0. We could always reset her back. But here you go. It's closed because the dialogue was beyond the bounds and there's no errors now. I told you guys that I didn't know exactly if it was above or equal, the dialogue, the length. We could make it -1 above, dialogue, the length at -1, but you know, above or equal, we go and disable the UI, return, and set the dialogue step to 0. This is how simple a dialogue system is. Okay, now what else do we need? As I said to you, the player is the most important thing now. What does the player do? Basically, it grabs the dialogue manager of the NPC. This is everything you need to know. Model behavior script, let's call it player. And let's put it, of course, in the player. We have here a player, which is the green object you see there. Oh my god, my computer is going to kill me. So, my player is here, which is the green object here. And we're going to basically tell him, what is this? Upper thingy, what is this thingy? Event system, oh, wonderful. Never seen your icon, buddy. Never seen the event system icon. It's a good icon. It's quite amazing 4 years later to see you, buddy. But here you are. Here you are. I don't know. I never really touched much of this display part of Gizmos. Pretty unique to see the event system icon. I don't remember it to be like this, but it's great. It's great. So the player does have the it already has a player script attached, which is great, and it has a rigid body. Be careful. We have put a rigid body in the player. In case you really want to have a rigid body or something in a class that you have created, you can add something on top of the class that says require component. You go down parenthesis, and you go, no, that's not a good parenthesis, you go type of, you go parenthesis again, and here you attach whatever you want. What do we want for the player? A rigid body, right? Then you require a component, type of rigid body. And if the type of component rigid body is not present in the current object, as soon as you put player, you will put a rigid body. Let's show you, because let's remove the player, let's remove the rigid body, and let's put a player here. Boom! Suddenly we have a rigid body as well. So you don't have to be extremely careful about, oh, I didn't just put the rigid body and I'm trying to grab it and oh my god, what did I do wrong? Just put a require component and you're good to go. You're just great and good to go. So, will we move the player? We can. We actually can move the player, but will we? Will we? You are probably going to do it, but I don't need to do it. Like, I'm just showing you how to do it. So, the important thing is on trigger enter, right? That's why we have a trigger collider in the NPC object. You can see it here. You can see that volume around the object, that green wire thing. It's a trigger sphere. So as soon as the player gets within the sphere, we will have a contact and we can do things with the contact, which is Really cool. So in case you re-trigger this enter, right, there's another object, which is the trigger, right? So now we're basically going to be if, let's go, bar, by the way, bar, dialog man, or new diag, okay, is equal to other dot get component, other dot get component. We can do it like directly like this. Yes, we can do it directly like this, because the other is a collider, and the collider is as well a component children of the transform. So at the end, we're still within the other's game object space. So yeah, we can gather the components. So yeah, if no dialog is, oh, thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. I don't like this, but if no dialog is not equal to null, in this case, we have detected that there's a dialog here, right? We need to grab a reference from this new dialog into a private reference, right? So we will go to dialog manager. Wonderful. It already writes for me the fucking variables. What's going to happen at some point? Will I write something at some point? The before script was more complicated, and I did it like in a longer time. So I guess it's better, right? So we go here, dialog manager. If dialog manager is equal to null, in this case we are empty, dialog manager is equal to new diag. So we can basically tell everyone that we are grabbing the reference of this dialog. So as soon as we serialize this field, which we don't need to add anything into this space, it's just for us to see, or for you guys to see it. And whenever we leave the object, we as well need to detach whatever conversation or whatever dialogue we grabbed, right? So we basically have on trigger exit, and we do exactly the same. We basically grab the other's component, but we're going to test something different. If new dialog is equal to dialog manager, which means it's the same dialog manager instance that we were talking to, right? And we are leaving that one, we will stop the dialog. So it doesn't happen that, for example, if an NPC crosses near you, suddenly just triggers interaction, and you grab his dialogue and you stop talking to Andrea and you start talking to Mario or someone else. So that's not going to be pretty cool, right? So that's why you want to test before removing it, whether it's the same dialogue, and then you can say, hey, then if they're both the same dialogue, so new dialogue is equal to dialog manager, so we can say dialog manager equals null. Dialog manager is equal to null. Why? Because we're leaving. This is when we're leaving the trigger, right? When we're leaving the trigger, we say that no more dialogue to interact with. But when we are entering the trigger, yes, we want to interact with this dialogue, right? That's basically what we want. We don't even need start here, so we'll just remove it. Again, remove the methods that you don't need sometimes because, well, methods are useful. So how do we interact with the dialogue now? Simplest thing. We get a key code. We get a key. So we go input dot, oh, no, problem. If input dot, again, the microphone is in the middle of my input dot get key down. We're going to go get key down, key code dot e. Now, this is the most difficult thing. Dialog manager dot step dialog. That's it. That's all you need to make a simple dialog system to work. When we enter the trigger, we grab the dialog. If the dialog manager, right, is equal to null, so we are not in another dialog, we will grab it. We will grab the other's dialogue, right? And if it's not equal to null, this means we're still within the other boundaries of dialogue. We haven't exited the other dialogue. So this is important for us to be sure you cannot superpose NPCs over dialogues and have problems with that. It's really simple. It's really simple. This is what steps the dialogue forward, really. This is the step dialogue function. This is everything it does. We remove the context menu, and that's it. Only a public function that has a step dialogue, and we can make this thing private because this is not going to be visible to anyone. We can maybe grab the dialogue UI from a start method or awake method. You can not awake from start. If you're grabbing something outside from your game object, grab it from start. If you're grabbing something from within your game object, you can grab it from awake. Bear with me. So, nothing else more. This is just everything. We can now just grab the player and make him interact. In order to do that, let's go to the player in the triggers and let's say debug.log and loading dialog. So you will see how this works, pretty much. Then you will need to be careful with your collision matrix, but that's pretty much how things will go. Now we don't need to stay in our here. You can see our player does not have a dialogue manager here. But as soon as the player will get close to the NPC, you will see how suddenly we'll have a debug log show that, of course, like, look at that. No dialogue loaded. And here you can see the NPC dialogue manager has been loaded. By the way, if we remove this back, it's deloaded, it's loaded, it's deloaded, it's loaded. Okay, so once we are within the boundaries of our NPC, let's basically tell him to tell us the story of itself, right? This is Andrea. Let's meet Andrea. Oh, hi. I didn't notice you. Oh, hi, Andrea. I did notice you because you're an NPC. By the way, the camera is not looking properly at the scene. Like, oh, hi, Andrea. Now that's a greater camera. We would have the camera move it a little bit. Okay. Oh, hi. I didn't notice you. How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great, Andrea. How are you doing as well? It's fine today, isn't it? Yes, it's super fine today. It's great today to making a dialogue system with you guys. With you. And now I guess we could be talking the entire day here. Yes, we could be. We could be. Depends on how long I make your dialogue, Andrea, but that's true. You're an NPC and you could be talking the entire day. If people keep on pressing E, you will keep on talking the entire day. But I usually forget about things and repeat myself. And it's true. I do repeat myself, and it's normal that you do repeat yourself because you're an NPC, Andrea. What do you expect? You're supposed to repeat yourself all the time. Well, it has been nice talking to you. Well, I have to say the same, Andrea. Even if you're an NPC, it has been great and nice to be talking to you. I am pretty busy. Come back to talk to me later. Of course, Andrea. I will come back to talk to you later at any time during this game. Anytime, just talking to you. Goodbye. Goodbye, Andrea. So since Andrea said goodbye to us, I have to say goodbye to you as well. I'm really happy to have been able to complete this project during this live coding challenge, and hopefully you have enjoyed it and learned something from this one. So you have a dialogue system. Now you know how a dialogue system is made. Like, this is just the interactions between the dialogue, right? This is the player interaction with the dialogue manager. When we enter the collider author, we get the dialogue manager. Once our dialogue manager is not equal to null. By the way, we need to do this thing because I forgot about this, but if I was pressing, I'ma show you. I'ma show you because I've been a little bit cheeky. And look at that. If I pressed E now, yes, I've been a little bit cheeky, guys, because I haven't made the null safety. So I have to make if dialogue manager blah 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 is not equal to null. bada blim, bada blum, dialogue manager stat dialogue. And in case it's equal to null, we will not do it. That's it. That's all. I just had to do it. And we could even do it better. Like if that's not equal to null, like we don't even detect the key code. But you know what? I rather want to have this logic encapsulated after a key code than to have this logic run all the frames. So that's why we do this. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful day. Today, you're going to be able to talk to Andrea forever. Forever. And forget the stupidity of thinking that dialogue systems are really complex, because everything they do is to step the dialogue forward. Have a wonderful day, guys, and see you soon. Hopefully you've enjoyed this thing, and I can see you in this next wonderful live coding challenge with who? With me.